promised to come, but I was working on coming. Sabs, you're welcome. I'm going to do one video in English, and I may need to do another one in Acholi. But please invite all your friends from northern Uganda, people from Acholi sub-region, people from Sudan. Please tag the ICC. Please tag the international communities. Please tag the UN. Please tag the State Department. I have some crucial information that I need to share urgently. Please share. Please invite Acholi brothers and sisters. This is urgent for northern Uganda, South Sudan, part of Congo. Please welcome. Thank you, Lydia. Welcome, Flor. Welcome, Alicia. Welcome. So I'll start off with where, Alicia, you're welcome. Yes, finally here. Welcome everyone. My name is Lady. Today is, welcome Muke. Welcome Roida. Thank you for coming. So I have some urgent information that I need to share, as soon as possible. Where do we begin? I'd like to begin with northern Uganda. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for inviting the ICC. Let's also do State Department. Anybody who can, U.S. State Department. I'm going to share this information and put it where it needs to be with the UN, the ICC, State Department. I'm going to share all of this with them as well. Welcome, Simon. But we can start. But I'm going to share all these information that I have here with State Department, with the UN, with the EU Parliament, with the ICC, and every place else it is today. Sorry, somebody called me and the network jumped off. Today is the 5th of March 2026. What I'm bringing to you is very current inside information from Museveni's government and what they plan to do to the people of Uganda, especially certain dignitaries whom they've worked with and now plan on disposing of because they share a lot of secrets or know a lot of information. Good morning, Nano. So these pertain to people who have worked with the government of Museveni, and he wants to do away with them because he knows that they can be used as weapons to provide information and detail on how he's been running his dirty government, and also the plans that he has to tear down parts of Uganda, kill people, destroy communities, and do other things dangerous to Ugandans. I would like to start with northern Uganda. So because Museveni has failed in Congo and trying to break up Congo, I'm speaking about Museveni and Kagame. Their names go together. You know, whatever Museveni is doing, Kagame is aware or is doing as well. So because all of their efforts have failed to take over Congo, they are now trying to move over to to cut off a part of Congo, a part of South Sudan, and a part of northern Uganda, and designate it their monarchy, where they will keep their animals, and Museveni and Kagame can move their livelihood to that region or that location. So, and this is planned from inside of high secret meetings with Kagame, Museveni, and his people. Their plan is to create or cause war in northern Uganda, southern Sudan, and part of Congo. Despite President Trump putting sanctions on Kagame and some of his officials. In fact, one of the people who was sanctioned in the M23 group is actually Museveni's biological son. Is Museveni's biological son, who works for the M23 government, and he was part of the people who was sanctioned by the U.S. State Department or the U.S. government. He's called Luki or Ruki. There's a long name that he has that I'm going to post on my Facebook page eventually. If I find it here, I will give it to you, but I want to get this message out before it's a little bit late today, okay? So what they want to do in that region, Salva Kiir has been informed about this. It's going to be a massacre worse than the 1994 genocide of Rwanda. And it's also going to be worse than the supposed LRA war. Museveni wants to bring war back in the Acholi sub-region, especially the most northern part of the Acholi region. He's going to kill a lot of Acholis worse than they were, or worse than he did during the purported LRA war. Okay? It's going to be worse than the Rwandese genocide of 1994. Salva Kiir is very compromised. You know, health-wise, he's really doing poorly. He also lacks support. Salva Kiir is actually guarded by Museveni's army, the NRM, the UPDF, because Salva Kiir lacks support and is not trusted. He doesn't trust a lot of his people from South Sudan to protect him. So because Museveni runs South Sudan with the help of Salva Kiir as a placeholder, Museveni is now diverting what he's doing into taking over, cutting a region and making it a republic of theirs. Him and Kagame, they're looking for a place to send their cattle so that they can set location or a republic of both Rwanda and Uganda. And Museveni. So both Museveni and Kagame are part of this deal, okay? As I mentioned, it's going to be worse than the LRA war. They're going to kill just about anything that has life. It's an operation that they're going to kill anything living in that region so that they can start afresh. And he's going to start moving his cattle there once they have cleared or have been proven that by the people that it's clear. Which people are going to be in this operation? You know, the people that were sanctioned, the M23 people that were sanctioned, and the army that melted among the Congolese people, and the ones who are now wearing UPDF uniform, pretending to be UPDF but are still M23 for fear of losing their lives, are the main people coming to kill people in parts of northern Uganda, okay, parts of Sudan, southmost part of Sudan, and also part of Congo, to create a republic or sort of monarch where Museveni and Kagame will move their livelihood and start some sort of monarchy away from Uganda, and to try to cut off from the public eye, from the Western public eye or the stage. Okay, they want their own federal state or monarch. They will also bring their animals to live there. Tweet this, share this. This is very important for the people of northern Uganda, the people of southmost Sudan, and people of parts of Congo that aligns with that region. These people are planning. This is a very high-stake meeting where they talked about this. So it is important. It is crucial. It is vital that we share this information. I'm getting it out to State Department. I'm getting this out to the ICC. I'm getting this out to where it matters. EU Parliament will get informed about this as well. So that's about South Sudan, Congo, and Uganda. It's going to be operated by the same M23 people who were chased away from Congo part of the ones who are sanctioned, who are very angry at Uganda for being successful in getting them rid in Congo area. Okay. My next thing here is Museveni is still looking for legitimacy, obviously. He's very, very worried of sanctions coming down the pipeline. He knows they're coming. He's worried about that. The other thing that is very crucial that he's worried about is the fact that he cannot get a handle on where His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is. With those efforts, here is the plan that they have to try to get him legitimate. Okay, this plan that they're developing or have developed includes trying to figure out how to get His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu back on the radar. They are sure that he may be in the country, but just in case he's not in the country, they want to use Secretary General Louis Rubongoya and also Lope Joel Senyonyi to try to woo him to come back into the country. In this plan, NTV executive, NBS executives, and the Interreligious Council are aware. They've already been informed. After the fact that when they move on with this plan or their deal to try to get Museveni to look legitimate, they're also going to inform the Kasukus. Those youths, or Kasuku and his group, the YouTubers and TikTokers and all of those who went to see Museveni at his Chisozi ranch, are going to be informed afterwards. They can't inform them now because they talk too much, and as you know, their heart is not there. Even if these people are invited to go and see Museveni and this, that, and the other, it does not mean that they're sold on giving away their country. Many Ugandans have Uganda at heart. Okay? Despite what Museveni wants them to do, they have a feeling. Like I said, this revolution is organic, is from the heart. It is not about somebody pushing somebody. It's how you feel. Okay? Look at me. I live this far. I don't face the struggles personally. Okay? In Uganda, I don't. But in my heart, I have a calling that I don't rest well if I've not done what is in my heart to do. So, an organic revolution is this one that we're going through right now. We want it, we love it, we care for it. Despite the fact that the dictator tries to pull us left and right, it doesn't mean anything. So even if those people went to see him at State House, it doesn't mean they're completely 100% sold. So they'll bring them in later to inform them of these and how they need to operate. Remember, that is now a corner or a group of people that Museveni is going to dangle and use as he wishes, okay? So here's what they plan with that. Because he's worried about sanctions and things coming down the pipeline, Museveni wants to look like he's going to do things amicably, like he's going to do things the right way. So, because he cannot no longer hoodwink the Western world because of so much exposure and what we have done, we have literally undressed Museveni, okay? He has no place to hide. The Interreligious Council and Museveni have opened Bank of Uganda and taken all monies or all assets available to them. The reason being is that they want to use this to try to get to or to offer whatever, anything that Louis Rubongoya will ask for, or Joel Senyonyi, or anybody who they can use to try to get to His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. But listen to this. Byabakama is involved in this deal. So what is Byabakama going to do? In fact, he's the lead architect of this whole plan. So Byabakama all of a sudden is going to come out and say, you know what, I was joking, I'm sorry. When I pronounced the election results, I was under pressure to release results immediately. But in the meantime, somebody tampered with technology, and so the results were interrupted, and I ended up giving His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Museveni's results, and I gave Museveni His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's results. Okay? So he's going to come out as if he looks legitimate and to say, you know what, I made a mistake, but now that, because as you remember, Byabakama has never released actual documentation to prove that results went a certain way. So in his defense of not having that documentation, he's going to claim he was under pressure to have to release those sooner than before. Okay? So After those results are released officially, he'll come up and say, oh yeah, His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu won by 71%, as he had said that it was Bobby Wine's, Museveni's results. Eventually, the Interreligious Council, which is already informed about this, in fact, they've already been paid to actually perform on this issue. They're going to come out and say and seek his SG, which is Louis Rubongoya, and also try to access Lope, who is Joel Senyonyi, and ask them if there's anything they want and name the amount. Whatever they want, they're going to give them. And say, just go ahead. We've already announced, we've pronounced Bobby Wine the winner. His Excellency is the winner. So go ahead and invite him, have him come out, and you know, he has won the election. All Ugandans will go into jubilation. We are all happy. Our president has finally taken this thing. So they will, with the awards that they'll give His Excellency, with the awards they'll give Lope and SG, they will then find a way to reach His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to pronounce him winner. Okay? After Byabakama will say, you know, the technology was tampered with, he was not allowed to report correctly, and the correct results. The UPDF will also come out and say, you know, our job is to protect the presidency, so it doesn't matter who is going to be president, we are going to protect whoever it is. Eventually they'll give Bobby Wine the security detail that he, you know, supposedly deserves as a president of a nation, and also the Interreligious Council will start talking to his to Joel Senyonyi and Louis Rubongoya about, you know, transition and how things should be and all of that. Then eventually the Kasukus will come in, the TikTokers. They'll be informed about, you know, the winning, the updates, and that Bobby Wine or His Excellency is now the president. After they've gotten him out, okay? After His Excellency comes out, they then will, Museveni and his team will go ahead and file a motion to disagree with the results. Remember, he does own the judiciary. He does own every part of, you know, he basically strokes the strings of Byabakama. He's in charge or entitled and is above all these people, but he's going to make them act like they're not on his side. Okay? Museveni will then file a motion in court saying that indeed he disagrees with the results, and yet this plan, they're all in it, you know? This is how Museveni has run Uganda for all this while. He has acted a certain way and come out and acted the other way. Museveni is both the left and the right hand in every aspect of life in Uganda. There is no legitimate body or party that does things without the consult or without the ruling of Museveni. So anyway, that's their plan. Once Kyagulanyi has been pronounced winner, by the mouth of Byabakama as the EC of Electoral Commission, Museveni, Chiriowa Chiwanuka, Karujire, Bijirimana, Kalemani, they will file that motion. And what they really want to use as their main issue or reasoning for this being illegitimate is the fact that the biometric system were used. Remember, Museveni was the president at the time. Museveni ordered the use of biometrics. Museveni got money from parliament to buy biometrics. This shows you how these people have been playing with our mind. So despite the fact that him in his presidency paid for these biometrics, trained Byabakama and team on how to operate biometric systems, and the systems failed on the day of elections, he's going to go to court and try to fight those facts and be against the use of biometrics. Okay? And then, after they filed the motion, guess who is going to preside or decide on the results? In the same judiciary panel where Nzeija, Karujire, Bijirimana, Kalemani all exist as appointees of Museveni. Okay? Those appointed judicial panel of Museveni will be the ones to make a decision or propose the direction that this goes. And what are their proposals? There will be one of these three. Because it will be Bobby Wine or His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu against their president, because Karujire is Museveni's attorney, Chiriwa Chiwanuka is Attorney General appointed by Museveni, Kalemani is a lawyer or is an attorney, I think is appointed by Museveni too, and so is Bijirimana. And then Nzeja is the Chief Justice appointed and sworn in as Chisozi on Museveni's compound by Museveni. Those are the people who are going to propose a way forward. Isn't that crazy? Lots of drama. So when they propose, there's going to be three possible resolutions. One of them will be dialogue. They will say, no. The courts don't have money. The courts don't have the manpower. The courts don't have enough power to be able to execute on this matter. So what we're going to propose is that you go and have a dialogue. Both His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, which is the new party, go and have a dialogue with NRM or NRM or led by Museveni. And then who is Museveni's attorney? Karujire. You see this mess? And who is the Attorney General on the side of the state? Chiriwa Chiwanuka. If that is not an option, they are going to say, okay, the next proposition for you, or best possible proposition, is that the government, that you both have a government of national unity. This is what Museveni dreams about. To be able to catch Bobby Wine or His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and have him run a government with him is Museveni's perfect scenario. The fact that His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is nowhere to be found is an itch in his throat that he can't scratch. So that's a second proposition. The third proposition will be a re-election, which is the most formidable for most Ugandans if this doesn't get handed down the right way. Okay? If Bobby Wine or His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu does not take over his position as it should, a re-election is something they can hear. Ugandans can listen to. Okay? Because we know the results will be even better. Even more than 71% Bobby Wine will win by. But anyways, so let's say it goes into dialogue or re-election or a government of national unity. The big idea here is that Museveni will then plan the assassination of His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and deal with the consequences. Two of the people who wish his death the most are Muhoozi and Salim Saleh. They wish Kyagulanyi does not exist. In fact, Kagame has been heard saying, why has Museveni failed to assassinate this guy like he does his people? You know, none of the opponents of Kagame survive, whether you live in the country or not. None of them live to see another day. Die in prison, die mysteriously, die from abroad, die from whatever. But they don't exist. That's why Kagame wins by 98%. 98 meaning that he can write a number on, you know, when you used to be in school and you write a note on a paper and you give it to somebody to pass to the next person to the next person? Kagame literally writes a number and that's what they pronounce. For a long time, Rwanda has been seen as a peaceful country or a country of this, that, and the other. A lot of the Western, I think even the Duchess and Prince William, the Duchess, the one who lives there, the American one, and the Prince even went and visited there. For a long time, Rwanda was the appropriate country. But until these sanctions, the veil is off everyone's eyes. So we know, and everyone is aware, that Rwanda is one of the terrorist countries there is. Terrorists in the sense of the president of Rwanda, Kagame, being one of the worst living presidents ever. Him and Museveni together. That's why Museveni says if they are sanctioning Rwanda, they are looking for him. Like the saying goes, when you beat a dog, you're looking for the owner in the neighborhood. I grew up in Nakawa, so I know what that means. Anyways, so then they will assassinate His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and deal with the consequences. They want Kyagulanyi Ssentamu back on the radar. Museveni is afraid even when if he goes ahead and swears in, His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu will not nominate a leader of opposition. And that means there's no government in Uganda. Museveni cannot exist without an opposition, without a leader of opposition. And NUP has the most elected opposition members, therefore is a legitimate party to appoint a leader of opposition. Okay? So his worries are endless. But that's a plan of theirs. I'm just saying so that we know, and we know what to deal with it. When you see signs like this, you know what it means. Okay? The other thing I want to talk about is Nabanja. I understand she's killing a lot of people in Bunyoro because they never voted for her. There's pictures and videos that are coming out of people who have been, cut with machetes. Some have been killed. It is also known that Nabanja is the one who killed the wife of, killed Mrs. Chibalama, because one time in Parliament, Nabanja said she has Mr. Chibalama. And till to date, she has never declared where Mr. Chibalama is. Obviously, that is why Museveni appoints people like that who are very stupid, who don't know consequences of what their utterances can do for them or to them. So anyways, so Nabanja is doing that in areas of Bunyoro. I have some videos, I have some photos that I'm going to share with the areas that matter. State Department, we're still filing. More files are being taken in by the EU Parliament. More files being taken by the ICC. So feel free to send those. Thank you for all of you that have sent me videos or messages about what's going on. What we need is actual evidence, live evidence, documented evidence, so that we can share appropriately. Make sure you add the names of the individuals doing certain things. Take pictures, take uniform pictures, take their labels, pictures on their shirts or uniforms or whatever. Take license plates, take whatever we can pin them onto whoever is doing what we are saying they're doing. Okay. Next is Anita Among. Museveni came out and said that he's endorsing Anita Among and Tayebwa. That is obvious. Like I said, Museveni is the right hand and the left hand as well. He's a mafia. You will never know what he's doing unless you open your eyes and ears. Just like he has fooled a lot of people, and Ugandans, we have woken up after so many years of this guy just doing stuff like this. He's acting like he has endorsed Anita Among, but Museveni is done with Anita Among because Anita Among cannot travel. If you notice in the last few years when Mao came to his government, Mao has been the one performing foreign missions or foreign duties of the speaker and Anita and the government. Museveni has freely sent Mao to different places like Geneva and so on and so forth where a speaker would have had to go. So even if it looks like Anita Among is being endorsed, she's definitely not going to be the Speaker of Parliament, because they are also planning or trying to award a Choli sub-region with one of their sons or daughters being in those high offices. And so far they've talked about having Mao, who's one of their children, in office. So that's bound to happen. Forget about the appointment or the endorsement by Museveni. Ministers of Uganda. So Museveni is upset about ministers traveling back and forth. He's wondering what they're doing. What are they going to do? He's calling them one by one to discuss why are they going out of the country so much. And because his government is lacking funds now, they're not going to be allowed to travel as much anymore. Not anymore. My next alert is about the Vatican. Museveni wrote a letter or sent an envoy to go and visit Pope Leo at the Vatican. Why? Because Museveni is asking to meet with Pope Leo by himself to try to front Natasha to become the next president of Uganda. So he wants to go with Natasha to meet the Pope for a photo op, you know, a picture with the Pope, so that it can be shared all over Uganda, especially in the Catholic Church, to try to win the Catholic Church back to him. So the Pope, I understand that that invitation was denied. So they said no to Museveni. He's not going to meet the Pope. And so he has now decided to figure out how he can send Muhoozi and Natasha instead, because the Pope rejected him, and Museveni knows that the Pope must have rejected the invitation because of him being involved, because nobody now wants to be seen with Museveni. Okay? He's one of those people who have become bare in the whole world, that they know how evil he is and how he operates, that if you associate with Museveni, you are risking losing credibility. Sorry about that. All this documentation that keeps coming, listing their names, reduces their credibility. Even if she has been to the Vatican a few times, it doesn't mean that she stays clean. And besides, she met the previous Pope, and now we have a new Pope in the Vatican. Okay? Next, I'm going to talk about Kasenyi, the SFC place where they have the fridge. Remember those two Kenyan supporters of who came to support Noop or Bobby Wine during the campaigns, the ones who were detained, who were taken and detained by the SFC. They talk about a fridge. So this fridge is actually located in Kasenyi. It's an SFC torture center or torture location. So that fridge in Kasenyi has 8 dead bodies. 8 people are dead and are being stored in Kasenyi in that SFC fridge. The fridge that's described. They say 4 of those people are Ugandans. 4 of the dead men that are in the Kasenyi SFC fridge are Ugandan. 1 of them is Kenyan. 2 of them are Nigerian. And 1 is a white, possibly European, or somebody of Western descent. 4 are Ugandan, 1 Kenyan, 1 Nigerian, and 1 white. So to say, somebody from the Western world, possibly the Americans. Hello, Kasim. These people died because Muhoozi Kainerugaba said, do not give them food. These 8 people who have died in Kasenyi torture chambers they were starved to death. How sick is that? Tweet this. Share this. 8 people who have been found dead in the fridge in Kasenyi SFC torture chamber were starved to death. Can you imagine? Yes, Floor, yes, it was Bob Njagi. Let him know, because when Bob was there and he was speaking, I watched one of his interviews. Bob said there were 2 Nigerians, or there were some Nigerians, so I don't know which one it could be. And he may know the Kenyan person who they're saying that's one of the people, the deceased people that are being held over there. We don't know if these people are going to be buried and where, or if they're going to be leached in acid, when, or they're going to be buried in mass graves. Whatever we can get our hands on, we will, and share it with you. So far, they're still in that fridge in Kasenyi. And Muhoozi personally ordered these people not to be fed by the SFC people until they died. So they died of hunger. We'll update you on what we find out. My last alert for today, or maybe not. In the barracks, the military barracks of Makindye, Bombo, Mbuya, apparently SFCs have started to be moved in. Many of you who have relatives in barracks, you can find out they're moving in SFC soldiers with their own uniports. So they're not mixing entirely with the people in those barracks, which are mostly Ugandans. Museveni believes that Ugandan army or soldiers have been able to successfully hide Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. He believes that they were the ones who paid. Remember, there is a receipt of donations from the military that is signed from the army. And Museveni has never been able to figure out which people actually donated to a Noop fundraiser. And so it upsets him. So SFCs are now moving in. All these barracks have SFCs who have been moved in there. And with the claim that their barracks claiming that in Samize, where the barracks of the SFC is under construction. I understand that is not true. They're just trying to create a takeover, to cast a net underneath for SFCs to enter and infiltrate all barracks. Eventually, they're going to start killing indigenous Ugandans who are in the military, those who are living there. And also, they have also paused all movements in the barracks. So you can't go and visit anybody in the barracks, neither can people from the barracks, like the wives and family members who live with a military person in the barracks, cannot go out of the barracks just anyhow. There's restrictions on movement everywhere. Commanders will also be changed to be SFCs from now on, so Ugandans are going to be demoted severely, and one by one they are going to start to lose their lives. As much as they don't document things that happen on the streets, imagine things that will happen in the barracks, within the barracks. If we don't have our contacts in there, we will never know what happened to whom. So many Ugandan military have died in Congo. So many. And there is no documentation because nobody's brought back home for a decent burial. And because they're playing games, our people suffer in the meantime. But we don't know for a fact how many people have died when. I talked to you about a bridge on the express highway where they just drop people, dead people. For example, these people who are in the fridge who are dead. It's possible that they'll drop them over there on the highway, in the swamp, the express highway along Entebbe Road, where they have dropped a lot of dead people. We don't have enough documentation to prove who is where. And because Ugandans are so fearful now, it is even hard for you to come out and say, I've lost someone. Because then they start targeting you next because you are talking. So, the advice to military Ugandans is that be very, very careful. In fact, Nakasongola barracks is now like Rwanda. Most of the military there are Rwandese. Okay? And because of that donation. So they're going to start killing them. Ugandan military do not just mix with these Rwandese SFCs. They're there to seek information. They're there to find out who is doing what. And they're also there to do away with you. So try not to eat together with them or drink with them, especially alcohol. Because you never know when you're compromised how much they can do with you or with you. Okay? So try to walk in groups or in pairs or more so that you have an eyewitness who can tell your family or tell us what's going on. Okay? My next and last thing here is Wangadia. They are celebrating that Wangadia is soon going to drop with a cardiac arrest or a blood clot. That means they have already done something to Wangadia. Wangadia is I think she's the executive of the human rights whatever in Uganda. Okay? Museveni feels like Wangadia is very weak and that Wangadia knows a lot of dirt that he has done. Things that he has said, orders that he has made, transcripts that he has made Wangadia file or report about what is happening to Ugandans regarding human rights violations every time they have a question. He knows that Wangadia is already probably talking to people like the ICC because she's the right person to be questioned. So Wangadia, anytime from now, will lose her life. It is possible that she has already been given something because they're confident that any time from now, could be tonight, could be tomorrow, could be next week, she will suffer a cardiac arrest or a blood clot. Museveni says that she's not smart or brilliant. She's very stupid. And so when they speak with her or scare her just a little bit, she will speak. Okay? I'm going to need to do a video in Acholi about the Southern Sudan and Northern Uganda massacre that Museveni is planning. So I will head out, but I will be back. So my dear people, I will love you and leave you. But we'll be in touch again tomorrow. Please share, please tweet, please share this as much as possible. Northern Ugandans, Acholi, South Sudan or South Sudanese, please, please pass the message on. Tweet this. I'm going to share this. This has already gone to the State Department. I've already sent this to the ICC. I've also sent this to the EU Parliament. So let's work together. Let's keep working together. We're almost there. We want our legitimate president, but we want him in the right way, not the way Museveni wants to force it. It has to come naturally, and it's coming. I love you all. Take good care. Bye-bye.